Welcome to Inferno Unleashed, the dark science behind geoengineered wildfires. Chapter 1, The Chemical Catalysts, How the Air Becomes Fuel. Uncover the secrets of how our atmosphere is manipulated, turning gentle breezes into raging infernos. Stay tuned, the truth is just getting started. Publishing Zombie is proud to bring you the book Inferno Unleashed. If you're interested in reading more about Inferno Unleashed, get your copy now, available in Amazon bookstores. Wildfires. They are a terrifying yet awe-inspiring force of nature. Across the globe, these blazes command our attention, leaving trails of devastation and raising questions about their origins. While natural causes often spark these infernos, a whisper in the shadows hints at a more unsettling possibility: geoengineered wildfires. Could we, in our quest to control the planet, be inadvertently fueling these catastrophic events? The notion that humans could be intentionally manipulating the weather to ignite such destruction seems like something out of a science fiction novel. But as technology advances, the line between reality and fiction becomes increasingly blurred. Is it so far-fetched to believe that we might possess the capability to weaponize nature itself? To understand the answer, we must first delve into the world of geoengineering. Geoengineering, simply put, is the deliberate large-scale manipulation of Earth's natural systems to counteract climate change. Imagine a planetary-scale intervention deploying technologies to reflect sunlight away from Earth or remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. While these concepts might sound like something out of a science fiction novel, they are increasingly being considered as potential solutions to the very real threat of global warming. But like any powerful tool, geoengineering is a double-edged sword. While it holds the promise of mitigating climate change, it also carries the risk of unintended consequences. One of the most concerning aspects of this technology is its potential to influence wildfires. By altering temperature, humidity, and wind patterns, geoengineering could inadvertently create conditions that are ripe for wildfires to ignite and spread rapidly. Recent years have seen a surge in wildfires across the globe, from the Amazon rainforest to the Australian outback. The sheer scale and intensity of these fires have fueled suspicions among some that geoengineering might be playing a role. Conspiracy theories abound, pointing to the potential use of directed energy weapons or the release of flammable materials into the atmosphere. While concrete evidence to support these claims remains elusive, the possibility of geoengineering being used covertly, whether by governments or private entities, raises profound ethical and security concerns. The lack of transparency and international regulations surrounding geoengineering technologies only deepens these anxieties. If we are indeed playing with fire, who is holding the matchstick and to what end? The potential dangers of geoengineering, particularly its potential to exacerbate wildfires, underscore the need for careful consideration and international cooperation. We must proceed with caution, recognizing that tinkering with complex Earth systems could have far-reaching and irreversible consequences. Open and transparent research is crucial to understanding both the potential benefits and risks of geoengineering. International agreements are needed to regulate the development and deployment of these technologies, ensuring they are used responsibly and ethically. Public engagement is also paramount. We must have a global conversation about the implications of geoengineering, weighing its potential benefits against its inherent risks. The future of our planet may depend on it. A raging inferno, nature's fury or engineered chaos. Imagine a wall of fire consuming everything in its path. Trees explode, homes vanish. This is the reality of wildfires. But what if these infernos are not entirely natural? What if someone is fanning the flames, steering the destruction? The evidence suggests a terrifying possibility: geoengineered wildfires. Forces beyond our control are manipulating our planet for profit and power. The smell of smoke fills the air, a constant reminder of the devastation. Families flee, leaving behind the remnants of their lives. These fires are different, more intense, more unpredictable. They move with unnatural speed and ferocity. Something is terribly wrong. Geoengineering is a dangerous game. It involves manipulating the Earth's climate system, often with unpredictable consequences. Scientists have long warned about the risks, but their pleas have been ignored. Now it seems these technologies are being used not to combat climate change, but to weaponize it. Imagine microscopic particles, aerosols, sprayed into the atmosphere. These particles, some say, contain metallic elements that react violently with heat and oxygen. When exposed to the extreme temperatures of a wildfire, they ignite, creating an explosive chain reaction. The result is a firestorm of unprecedented scale and intensity. The metallic fingerprint evidence in the ashes. Scientists, analyzing the aftermath of these megafires, are finding something strange: unusually high concentrations of metals like aluminum, barium, and strontium. These elements, not naturally found in such quantities, point to an unsettling possibility: aerosol spraying. The very air we breathe is being weaponized. The evidence is mounting. Soil samples, plant life, even the air itself, all contaminated. These metallic particles dispersed through aerosol spraying are settling on the ground, creating the perfect conditions for catastrophic fires. The question is not if this is happening, but why? Who stands to benefit from such destruction? Whispers in the wind-silenced voices of truth. Across the globe, individuals are stepping forward, risking their reputations and safety to expose the truth. Firefighters, scientists, even government officials are blowing the whistle on what they believe to be a deliberate and coordinated attack on our planet, but their voices are being silenced. These whistleblowers tell chilling stories of government cover-ups, of data manipulation, of threats and intimidation. They are labeled as conspiracy theorists, discredited and silenced. But the truth is out there. The question is, will we listen? Seeing through the smoke, satellites expose the deception. From space, the evidence is undeniable. Satellites equipped with infrared cameras are capturing images of intense heat anomalies, far beyond what is considered normal for naturally occurring wildfires. These anomalies often appear in the days and hours leading up to a major fire event. The patterns are too regular, too precise to be random. Someone or something is targeting specific areas, igniting these infernos with pinpoint accuracy. These are not acts of God, but acts of malice orchestrated by forces hidden in the shadows. The devastation is not random. These fires are disproportionately impacting rural communities, often located in areas rich in natural resources. Is this a coincidence, or is there a more sinister agenda at play? Are these fires a way to clear land, to displace populations, to seize control of valuable resources? The pattern is clear. Destroy the community, seize the assets. It's a tactic as old as time, but now it's being deployed with terrifying precision and efficiency. Who are the true beneficiaries of this engineered chaos? Follow the money, the old adage goes. And in the ashes of these infernos, a trail of profits leads to a powerful few. Corporations specializing in disaster capitalism are reaping billions in government contracts for firefighting, cleanup, and reconstruction. The more fires, the bigger the profits, but it goes deeper than that. These fires are clearing the way for lucrative development projects, for resource extraction, for land grabs on a massive scale. The very people tasked with protecting us from these disasters are profiting from the destruction. The pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. Geoengineering, weather manipulation, aerosol spraying, targeted destruction, corporate profiteering. What was once dismissed as conspiracy theory is now becoming impossible to ignore. The evidence is overwhelming. We are witnessing a global conspiracy, a silent war waged against humanity and our planet. The question is no longer whether this is happening, but what are we going to do about it? We must wake up to the reality of geoengineered wildfires and demand accountability. The future of our planet hangs in the balance. The time for complacency is over. The flames are licking at our doorstep, and we cannot afford to remain silent. We must educate ourselves, speak out against these atrocities, and demand transparency from our leaders. The future of our planet depends on it. This is a call to action. We must stand together, united in our outrage and our determination to protect our planet from those who would seek to control and exploit it. Let our voices be heard. The truth will not be silenced. Our planet is worth fighting for. The manipulation of the atmosphere through geoengineering has become one of the most alarming phenomena of the modern age, with the widespread use of chemicals in the air and water. While these programs were originally touted as solutions to global warming and climate change, evidence suggests they are contributing to the very disasters they were meant to prevent. One of the most disturbing effects of these practices is the introduction of pyrotechnic chemicals into the environment, chemicals that not only alter weather patterns but also act as fire accelerants, turning entire ecosystems into highly flammable tinderboxes. The chemicals most commonly found in the fallout of geoengineering programs are aluminum, barium, and strontium, as well as an abundance of other chemicals and byproducts. Even human DNA has been found in SAI air samples. What the hell is that doing in these spray concoctions? Anyway, these metals, while useful in various technological applications, are far more sinister when it comes to wildfire ignition. Aluminum is a key ingredient in the Stratospheric Aerosol Injection, or SAI, program, and is also conveniently a main ingredient in coal fly ash, a byproduct which many large industrials have to pay to dispose of. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. Anyway, SAI involves spraying reflective particles into the upper atmosphere to supposedly block sunlight and reduce global temperatures. However, when aluminum is deposited on the ground and absorbed by soil and vegetation, it has been found to increase the combustibility of plant life. This metallic powder can coat trees, leaves, and grasses, making them far more likely to catch fire even in moderate heat conditions. Barium, often used in cloud seeding operations, also plays a dangerous role in wildfire acceleration. When barium comes into contact with moisture and heat, it creates highly reactive compounds that can cause fires to spread rapidly. While the primary goal of cloud seeding is to enhance precipitation, the side effects of releasing these compounds into the atmosphere are far more dangerous than most people realize. Barium compounds, especially in the form of barium nitrate, are used in fireworks and incendiary devices, further underscoring their pyrotechnic potential when introduced into natural environments. Strontium, another key ingredient found in chemtrail residues, is often used in flares and fireworks to create vibrant red colors. When strontium particles mix with the other metallic components in the atmosphere, they can contribute to heightened fire risks, particularly in dry conditions. Strontium is also a highly reactive element that can easily interact with organic material, increasing the volatility of fires. Combined with the heat generated by HAARP-induced weather events or directed energy weapons, these metals act as a catalyst, creating infernos that are impossible to control. The manipulation of these elements is not just an isolated incident, but part of a larger agenda to transform the environment into a tool of control. Geoengineering programs are not just altering the weather, they are weaponizing the elements to create the perfect conditions for engineered wildfires. The purpose: to clear land, change ecosystems, and reshape the world in the image of corporate and governmental interests. This is not science fiction. This is a carefully orchestrated agenda where pyrotechnic chemicals are deployed with devastating consequences, and where natural disasters are no longer just the result of chance but part of a calculated plan. As evidenced by the increasing number of wildfires that defy natural explanation, burning at temperatures that should be impossible, destroying homes while leaving surrounding forests untouched, the presence of these chemicals is undeniable. The metallic residues in soil and water samples, the selective nature of the fires, and the seemingly coordinated timing of these disasters point to the unmistakable conclusion: these fires are engineered. The firestorms that rage through entire towns are not just the result of dry conditions. They are the consequence of flammable pyrotechnic ingredients deliberately introduced into the environment, making these blazes burn hotter and faster than any natural fire could ever manage. The increasing incidence of engineered wildfires, from California to Australia to the Amazon, raises urgent questions about who benefits from these orchestrated disasters. With the land cleared, the profits roll in for real estate developers, government agencies, and corporate giants who buy up devastated regions at a fraction of their worth, all while communities are left in the ashes. Meanwhile, the insurance industry has cashed in, increasing premiums on homeowners while denying claims for those trying to rebuild. In the aftermath of these devastating fires, the true costs are rarely accounted for. The loss of homes, wildlife, and entire ecosystems is brushed aside as the authorities push for climate change mitigation plans that further centralize power in the hands of a few. These solutions have less to do with saving the planet and more to do with transforming it into a profitable new world order, where every disaster is an opportunity for the elite to claim more land, more power, and more control. Publishing Zombie is proud to bring you the book Inferno Unleashed. If you're interested in reading more about Inferno Unleashed, get your copy now, available in Amazon bookstores. The Chemical Catalyst: How the Air Becomes Fuel. Part 1. The True Purpose of Stratospheric Aerosol Injections. For decades, the concept of stratospheric aerosol injection has been presented to the public as a climate intervention strategy designed to cool the planet by reflecting sunlight away from the Earth's surface. This official narrative, however, only scratches the surface of a far darker and more strategically orchestrated agenda, one that serves multiple hidden purposes, from geoengineered wildfire acceleration to neurological suppression, corporate waste disposal, and financial control over global weather patterns. Stratospheric aerosol injection is not a theory. It is an active, well-documented reality backed by military patents, declassified reports, whistleblower testimonies, and satellite imagery evidence. Behind the public-facing climate change rhetoric, SAI operations have long been weaponized, creating atmospheric conditions ideal for artificial droughts, extreme firestorms, and targeted environmental manipulation. Mainstream institutions, including NASA, NOAA, the UN, and the World Economic Forum, have strategically positioned geoengineering as a necessary response to climate change, particularly under the guise of solar radiation management. The theory claims that injecting reflective aerosols into the stratosphere could help reduce global temperatures by mimicking the cooling effects of volcanic eruptions. However, independent research exposes two major flaws in this argument. First, SAI has been operational for decades, well before climate change was declared a crisis. As early as the 1960s, the US military began experimenting with aerosol-based atmospheric modification under classified defense programs. The infamous 1976 UN Weather Weapons Treaty was created to ban environmental warfare tactics that were already in development. By the 1990s, leaked US Air Force and CIA documents confirmed that geoengineering trials were actively conducted under military contracts, long before global warming became the leading environmental narrative. Second, the specific chemicals used in SAI do not cool the planet, they make it more combustible. If the goal were purely reflective cooling, then substances like sulfur dioxide, a cooling agent found in volcanic eruptions, would be dominant. Instead, SAI programs rely heavily on highly flammable metals like aluminum oxide, barium, strontium, and lithium, which are known to accelerate wildfire spread and enhance atmospheric electrical conductivity. If global powers were truly committed to cooling the planet, they would not be using chemicals that cause droughts, ignite wildfires, and disrupt neurological function. Instead, the deliberate misdirection of climate change rhetoric has allowed for a military-industrial takeover of Earth's natural weather cycles. The strategic deployment of fire-fueling aerosols is not just an environmental concern. It is a classified military operation designed to achieve three primary objectives. First, firestorm engineering and disaster profiteering. SAI dispersal preconditions the environment for maximum flammability, leading to massive, uncontrollable wildfires. The destruction then serves as justification for increased climate lockdowns, land grabs, and smart city expansions, allowing governments and corporations to seize burned-out regions under the guise of climate safety measures. Second, manufactured droughts and water wars. The same aerosol compounds that increase atmospheric ignition potential also disrupt rainfall patterns, leading to artificially prolonged droughts. This allows governments to impose water restrictions, drive up food prices, and consolidate control over global agriculture. Third, neurological suppression and cognitive warfare. Many of the metals found in SAI programs, including lithium fluoride, aluminum, and barium, have direct neurotoxic effects on the human brain, reducing cognitive function, memory, and emotional resilience. This aligns with decades of psychological warfare experiments aimed at subduing mass populations through chemical exposure. Evidence of active SAI programs, military patents, and whistleblower testimonies. Despite mainstream dismissal, government patents, government satellite imagery, as well as some independent sites. Flight Radar 24 is my personal favorite. Many whistleblower leaks confirm the existence of SAI operations on a global scale. Key patents and official documents proving intent. U.S. patent 5,003,186, issued in 1991. Details stratospheric aerosol deployment systems capable of dispersing fire accelerant compounds over vast regions. U.S. patent 4,686,605 by Hughes Aircraft in 1987. Outlines a method for atmospheric modification using metallic oxides that also enhance ignition potential. U.S. Air Force's Owning the Weather by 2025 from 1996. Admits to developing geoengineering techniques for military operations, including controlled droughts and firestorm intensification. NASA's 2021 Stratospheric Engineering report confirms ongoing research into the deployment of barium and aluminum compounds for climate control. Whistleblowers who have exposed SAI programs. Kristin Megan, a USAF industrial hygienist, provided first-hand testimony that SAI chemicals are not being used for climate cooling but for deliberate atmospheric modification. Dr. J. Marvin Herndon, a geophysicist and nuclear chemist, discovered that SAI mixtures contain coal fly ash, a toxic industrial byproduct repurposed for mass aerosol dispersal. Dane Wigington from Geoengineering Watch uncovered high-level evidence of clandestine aerosol operations in global weather control programs. The real endgame. Who benefits from SAI? The deeper you investigate who profits from global-scale geoengineering, the clearer it becomes that this is not an environmental effort. It is an industrial military operation designed to reshape global power dynamics. The major beneficiaries of stratospheric aerosol injections. Military-industrial complex uses SAI for weather warfare, battlefield control, and disaster capitalism. Big agriculture manipulates drought conditions to drive up food prices and consolidate corporate control over water resources. Pharmaceutical industry profits from the neurotoxic effects of aerosolized chemicals, leading to increased neurological disorders, mental health crises, and mass dependency on prescription drugs. Globalist think tanks like the WEF, UN, and Club of Rome use climate-engineered disasters to justify authoritarian climate policies, land confiscation, and smart city development. Conclusion: the air itself has been weaponized. Stratospheric aerosol injection is not about saving the planet. It is a weaponized system of climate manipulation, neurological suppression, and environmental warfare. By controlling the very air we breathe, global powers have created a mass-scale mechanism for shaping economies, ecosystems, and human behavior itself. The discussion around geoengineering and stratospheric aerosol injection often focuses on the three primary elements, aluminum, barium, and strontium, which have been routinely detected in environmental samples following large-scale wildfire disasters. However, independent research, military patents, and whistleblower testimonies reveal a much broader and more sinister list of chemicals being deployed under the guise of climate control. These chemicals serve multiple functions beyond simple weather modification. They act as fire accelerants, neurological suppressants, environmental contaminants, and even carriers for industrial waste disposal. The global spraying operations, often dismissed as mere conspiracy theories, have in fact been systematically documented in declassified military reports and independent forensic investigations. This section uncovers the full extent of these chemicals, explaining how they interact with wildfire conditions, human health, and global ecosystems, while exposing who profits from their deployment. The core combustion trio: aluminum, barium, and strontium. These three metals have been detected in soil, water, and air samples worldwide, particularly in areas suffering from inexplicable firestorms and extreme drought conditions. They are central to the burning anomalies observed in modern wildfires, including the strange, selective incineration patterns seen in California, Maui, and Australia. Aluminum, also known as Al2O3, is often referred to as the oxygen thief. Its primary roles include acting as a fire accelerant, soil desiccant, and neurological disruptor. Common uses of aluminum include thermite reactions, explosives, and industrial metal alloys. Documented effects of aluminum are quite alarming. It increases fire intensity by depleting atmospheric oxygen, weakens natural fire resistance in forests by embedding itself into soil and plant life, and impairs cognitive function, being linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. On the military front, U.S. Patent 5,003,186 from 1991 details the use of aluminum nanopowders in atmospheric dispersion to increase combustibility in specific geographic regions. Declassified NASA documents confirm that aluminum oxide particulates are used to alter atmospheric reflectivity, but conveniently omit their fire-enhancing properties. Barium, symbolized as Bar, is known as the ignition enhancer. Its primary roles are as a fire catalyst and electrical conductivity booster. Common uses of barium include military pyrotechnics, signal flares, and deep space propulsion. Documented effects of barium are quite significant. It lowers the ignition point of combustible materials, making fires easier to start and harder to control. It enhances the effects of electromagnetic energy, amplifying the effectiveness of directed energy weapons. Additionally, barium disrupts potassium levels in the human body, leading to fatigue, muscle weakness, and immune suppression. The U.S. Air Force's Owning the Weather in 2025 report explicitly mentions barium-based aerosols as a tool for weather and atmospheric modification. Geoengineering patents show barium is commonly included in cloud seeding mixtures, yet it mysteriously appears in post-wildfire residue, even in regions where cloud seeding was never conducted. Strontium, or SR, is often referred to as the heat amplifier. Its primary role is to boost wildfire temperatures and intensify radiation. Commonly used in incendiary weapons, nuclear fallout tracers, and fireworks, strontium has some pretty concerning documented effects. It increases wildfire temperatures to extreme levels, making them much harder to extinguish. When combined with aluminum and barium, it acts as an accelerant. In the human body, strontium mimics calcium, which can lead to weakened bones, dental damage, and even cancer risks. During the Cold War, nuclear tests used strontium isotopes to track radioactive fallout dispersion. Unfortunately, those same isotopes are now found in aerosolized geoengineering mixtures. Classified military documents from the 1990s confirm that strontium can be used in thermobaric weapons to intensify fire-based explosions. Independent research into post-fire debris and environmental test samples has revealed additional elements that point to a far more dangerous and multi-purpose aerosol program. These elements, rarely acknowledged in mainstream climate discussions, indicate that stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, is not just about weather control, it is also about fire engineering, neurological suppression, and industrial waste disposal. Lithium fluoride, or LiF, is often referred to as the mass sedation agent. Its primary role is as a cognitive suppressor and nervous system inhibitor. Commonly, it's used in psychiatric medications, rocket fuel, and nuclear reactor shielding. Documented effects of lithium fluoride include lowering resistance to authority and increasing compliance when inhaled or consumed in trace amounts. It also inhibits proper thyroid function, leading to lethargy, brain fog, and hormonal imbalances. Additionally, it increases the flammability of organic materials, acting as a fire accelerant in dry environments. Military connections are quite alarming. Declassified MK-Ultra experiments showed that low-dose lithium exposure made test subjects more passive and suggestible. This aligns with theories that stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, may double as a population control mechanism. Pentagon research from 2013 explored the possibility of using lithium-laced aerosols for mass mood stabilization in urban environments. Lead, or PB, is known as the heavy metal poison. Its primary role is as an environmental contaminant and cognitive degenerative agent. Common uses include ammunition, industrial coatings, and nuclear shielding. Documented effects of lead are severe. It damages cognitive function, reducing IQ and increasing aggressive behaviors. It accumulates in bone tissue, leading to long-term health deterioration. Lead also makes fires burn hotter by increasing thermal absorption in particulate-laden environments. Military connections are equally concerning. Whistleblower reports suggest lead-based compounds have been repurposed in aerosol mixtures to reduce disposal costs for industrial waste. U.S. Environmental Protection Agency records indicate a sharp decline in industrial lead dumping over the past 2 decades, coinciding with an increase in atmospheric trace lead levels. Biological disposal products present a silent scandal. One of the most controversial theories surrounding SAI operations is that they serve a dual function as an industrial and biological waste disposal mechanism. In the mid-20th century, corporations dumped toxic waste into 45-gallon drums and sank them into the ocean. Today, whistleblowers claim that industries have found a more profitable alternative, atomizing and dispersing these same byproducts through the global aerosol network. Potential contaminants include residues from medical waste incineration, such as traces of pharmaceuticals, viral agents, and human DNA fragments. Byproducts from aluminum smelting plants, which would otherwise require expensive disposal, are also included. Coal fly ash, a toxic byproduct, is repurposed as a primary component of geoengineering aerosols. If true, this would mean that SAI is not only a weaponized weather modification tool, but also a corporate scheme to avoid environmental regulations while profiting from waste disposal contracts. The full spectrum of chemicals in geoengineering programs reveals a deliberate strategy to manipulate the environment while simultaneously harming human health. Firestorms are intensified by metallic accelerants. Cognitive function is impaired by lithium, fluoride, and lead. Big industry profits by turning chemical waste into so-called climate solutions. As we delve deeper into the ramifications of geoengineering, it's impossible to ignore the environmental toll. Picture this: barrels upon barrels of toxic waste not safely disposed of, but instead released into our atmosphere. These chemicals, intended to alter weather patterns, leave behind a trail of destruction, polluting our air, soil, and water. Their impact goes beyond just human health. They disrupt ecosystems, harm wildlife, and contribute to the degradation of our planet. The very strategies meant to combat climate change may be accelerating our march towards ecological disaster. As we move forward, it is crucial to question and scrutinize these methods, seeking sustainable solutions that do not come at the expense of our environment. The time to act is now. For the sake of our planet and future generations, we must demand transparency and accountability in geoengineering practices. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe so you'll be notified when Chapter 2 drops. Stay tuned, there's much more to come. This video was brought to you by Publishing Zombie. Thank you for watching. To be continued. Don't miss the next chapter. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Like, share and follow to stay updated. There's much more to uncover. You can also order your own copy of Inferno Unleashed, the dark science behind geoengineered wildfires, available now.
Publishing Zombie, indie publishing for rebellious readers.
The Gateway Conspiracy, the hidden war for human consciousness. Unlock the secrets the CIA tried to bury. Discover The Gateway Conspiracy, the hidden war for human consciousness on Amazon, and take the first step toward breaking free from the illusion. Dive into the hidden world of covert operations and mind control and find out what they don't want you to know. Your journey to uncover the truth begins now. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Like, share and follow to stay updated. There's much more to uncover.